You can start. Harshit, start the prayer.
Yes, Mataji. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashilakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunadanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanostute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasade Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So now we have come to chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, and the name of this chapter is the three modes of material nature. So I'll go fast. All of you know what are the three modes of material nature. So in the first 6 chapters, just a small recap. In the first 6 chapters, we learned about the karma yoga, that is the art of doing, how we should do karma. And 7th to 12th chapter, we learned about bhakti in great detail. That means how we have to do our karma with great devotion. And 13 to 18, the last part which we are doing now, is Jnana Yoga in detail. That means developing analytical knowledge is what we are going to learn in this. That means the Jnanam is something what we are going to learn is what is going to take us to Krishna. Because that is the right Jnana, not the material knowledge what we are going to learn. And the most important and the concluding instruction of Krishna in this Bhagavad Gita is bhakti, or that is or doing devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Okay, and in this 13th chapter, we learned about the Lord, the Jiva, and the Prakriti. How karma can lead to bhakti is in the first 6 chapters. And how jnana will lead to bhakti in the last 6 chapters. So in the 13th chapter, it is very in detail described about Prakriti, Jiva, and Paramatma. That is Lord. The Paramatma is God, and Jiva is the soul, and Prakriti is the material nature. And so Arjuna asked 6 questions about Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnanam, Geyam. All these 6 things Arjuna has asked, and Krishna has answered in the previous chapter. So Krishna finally in the 13th chapter talked about the enlightenment of Jiva in the Prakriti under the superintendent of the Supreme Lord. How we should get enlightened is what Krishna has concluded in the 13th chapter. And in the 3rd section of 22nd chapter, Krishna explained about the transmigration of the body to another due to the association of the material elements. That means staying in this body, we are getting associated with many things, and because of which our next life is being decided. That means getting in touch with the material body means how the material modes are affecting us, the living entity. And so here, that is where the 13th chapter concluded. And the connection to 14th chapter is, he explains how the living entity can come out of the material entity. That means entanglement. So in 13th chapter, we understood that because of the connection with the material body, we are taking different lives. So here now we are in this chapter, we are going to understand what are the three material modes, and then how to come out of them is what we are going to learn here. Okay, now we'll go to first sloka. My laptop's video camera is gone, so I'm not seen. I have to get it repaired. So this is the 14th chapter, the three modes of material nature. And 13th chapter, we learned all this. And in 14th chapter, the three modes of material nature will be discussed. And sloka 1 to 18, Jiva's contact with the material mode. How we are getting connected, in what mode we are getting connected with the nature is what is described. And in 19 to 27, the transcendental modes is what is described. How to get out of these modes is described here. This is a very small chapter, but a very important chapter. The main purpose of Bhagavad Gita, why Krishna has told Bhagavad Gita, is to understand these material modes and how to come out of them. So, first sloka. Yeah.
Read.
Yeah, read.
Hare Krishna. Parambuya Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajnanavat Mutaye Sarve Param Siddhim Mito Gata. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection." Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said in the first sloka, what did Krishna say? Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, because till now he has told many times about the wisdom, the best of all knowledge. What is that wisdom? What is the best of all knowledge? Is the wisdom, knowing which all sages have attained the supreme perfection. See, here Krishna himself can say, I'm telling you, do it. Rather than that, he is showing us example that many sages have followed this wisdom, supreme wisdom, got the supreme knowledge and have attained the supreme perfection. So the best knowledge is knowing about God, and also whatever, it's not just knowing about God, whatever facilitates us to do this is the best knowledge. That means doing bhakti, whatever is facilitating us to do bhakti is also the best knowledge. This is the knowledge of the, this is what we have to come out of the three material modes and using this knowledge. And also here we have to understand that in this chapter we are going to discuss how one is going to get bonded in a particular mode. What are the three modes? Can somebody tell me?
Mataji.
Three modes.
Tamoguna,
Mataji,
Rajoguna, and Satvaguna.
Very good. Good. So what is Satvaguna, Harshit?
Mataji, in Satvaguna, like the people will be very good and they'll do their work on time. They won't be lazy.
In one word, Satvaguna is mode of goodness.
Mode of goodness.
Yeah. And Rajoguna?
Mode of passion.
Very good. Excellent. Tamoguna?
Mode of laziness.
Yeah. Ignorance. Mode
Ignorance.
of. So here we are going to understand how one is going to behave in in whichever guna he is, how he is going to behave, and what qualities they are going to have. And at the end of this chapter, Krishna is going to tell us how to come out of these three modes. Okay. So that Sloka 2. Harshik, read.
Hare
Harshik?
Krishna.
Hare.
Idam jnanam upasritya mama swadharyam agataha sargebhi aphi nopa janate pralaye na vyathanti cha. Translation. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of certain or disturbed at the time of dissolution. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. By fixing, by becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. That thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. That means Krishna is telling that by getting this knowledge, we will become like Krishna. That means we will get the transcendental qualities of Krishna. So by getting this, we will not be there in the time of creation, and we will not be disturbed at the time of dissolution. Why? Because why are we here in this material world? Because we wanted to enjoy the material happiness, and so Krishna has put us in this material world. So once we get this knowledge and get the nature of Krishna, what will happen? We will become like Krishna, and we will be serving Krishna, and we will be out of this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So if we are out of this birth death cycle, what will happen? This creation and dissolution will not disturb us. Further, so we have to understand how we are suffering in this world, and we think that enjoyment, why suffering, why are they saying suffering? We are having enjoyment also, but we should know that enjoyment is also a cause of suffering. Sorry, not cause, a kind of suffering. So and mostly knowledge people say that happiness is the gap between two sufferings. It is nothing special. It is only a gap between two sufferings. It is like the waves in the ocean. Once happiness comes, once these things comes. Certain a big cyclone can come, which is like a big suffering, like that. So this is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. What is that? To understand what is the real suffering in life and how to come out of this. That is how to overcome the three material modes. And here, why Krishna says, once we are established here, the birth death cycle does not influence is the soul, which is eternal, comes into the material world when the creation is made. So when a lot of souls wanted to enjoy like Krishna or in a different way, based on that requirement, Krishna has created this material world and put us all in this material world. Next life, so that is how, based on our desire, elsewhere in Goloka, we are put into this material world. But after coming here, each one of us, we keep doing something on our own. On our what do you call that, free will. Once we start doing, our next life will be decided. Like whatever we wish in this life, that will be our next life. So we see at the end of the universal destruction, we keep desiring. That means all this, when this creation is made, we are there. So we keep on desiring, and we keep on taking this birth and death. And if we don't get into Krishna consciousness, if you don't If you so what happens is when my flow is gone. So at the end of the, so we keep on desiring, and so at the end of the, when the creation is closed, again we go, and again in the next creation we take birth. That means we are seeing this every creation, we are getting into this material world. When we get into Krishna consciousness, we get the mentality of Krishna, and then we come out of this. This creation won't disturb us. Okay, even after the so here we are losing this identity as in the material world, but our identity as an independent soul is not lost after going to the Goloka also. There, by serving to the lotus feet of Krishna, we get our identity. We have to be very clear that no merging is done into Krishna. What is happening is we are going to be away from Krishna. Serving away means not a part of his body, but with him, serving him. So no merging is done. So here merging cannot be done. That we have to be very clear. In our movies, what they show is at the end of the death, a light comes out of the body and goes into Krishna and merges. No, it doesn't merge. If the real liberation comes, we only go to the lotus feet of Krishna. That we have to be very clear. See, it is like this. But to understand it simply, you have to understand a child is born from the parents. And once born, they are separated. They can never win. Like once separated, they are separated. That way, we have come from Krishna. So once separated, we are separated. But a child can always be with the parents happily. And if he wants, he can go away from the parents. If he wants, he can be with the parents. But he can never merge back into the parents. That way, we also will never merge into Krishna. But we will be at the lotus feet of Krishna. Yeah, Trai, can you read the third sloka?
Yes, Mataji. Mama yorana mama brahma tasmin garman dadamaya aham sambahan sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharataha. Translation: the total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is the Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, very good. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth. And it is the Brahman that I impurgate. Impurgate means combine, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. Here, Krishna is describing in Sloka 3 and 4, Krishna describes how Jiva comes into the contact of the matter. And that's how it is. And in next sloka, how the material modes in this material world by the Jivas is described. So the Lord combines, puts the Jiva into the womb of a material nature. It can be the womb of a human being, it can be to the animal, it can be like a seed becoming a plant, or wherever it is. The Krishna combines the soul to the material nature. Based on the, how does he combine? He is not partial. He is not jealous of everybody. He does not take his own, he does not decide based on his whims and fancies. He based on our desires, based on our previous karmas, he decides. So based on our karma, what we do in one life, we take our next life. Either we enjoy there or suffer there. So it totally depends on how we behave. Hare Krishna. Who is that?
Dixit Mataji.
Yeah, you should not disturb like that, Dikshit. You have joined, no? That's good. Okay. Hare Krishna, I'm happy you joined. So the Lord joins us with this material world, and it is like this. The jails exist because there are criminals. Okay. Otherwise, if there are no criminals, the jail need not exist. The jail won't be there. But so like that, the material creation exists because we wanted desires. We wanted to fulfill our desires. And why we wanted to, like, why criminals are there means simple. They misuse their independence, because criminals, the human beings, all the human beings on this world are misusing most of them are misusing their independence. Because they are misusing their independence and doing wrong things, they are put into the jails. That is why the jail is there. Similarly, we also have a free will which we have misused. Because we have misused, we got into this material world. And because we got into the material world, we have to somehow get out of it. That is, we have to come out of the jail. Because Krishna has given the free will, which we are misusing. And actually, Krishna is the cause of, one way we can say that Krishna has given the free will, because of which we are doing all this. Okay. Sloka 4. Rohan, both of you are there, or one of you? Only one is there. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, both are there, Mataji.
Okay, Rohan, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sloka 14.4. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murdaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradah pita. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Meaning. Read the meaning.
It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Hare Krishna Mataji.
This came in SSP4, Mataji.
Okay. You are doing SSP4. You have finished your SSP, no?
Yes, Mataji.
Then what is SSP4? Oh, this sloka is in SSP4. Yes, right. Right. Okay. Right. It should be here as a. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in the material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Here Krishna is telling very clearly that different souls are taking different material bodies, where material nature is the mother, and the father is Krishna. He is the original father of all living beings. Like we think that we are the mother, we are the father, we have given the birth, and we are doing all this. But we should understand that it is Krishna who is the original seed-giving father. Because of Krishna only, the souls have come into exist. So we should be very clear that Krishna is the seed-giving father. So all of us, all the living beings on this earth are our siblings, are our brothers and sisters. So the material nature is the mother, the Prakriti, and Krishna is the seed-giving father. Dikshit, read.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sloka 14.5. Sattvam rajastam tamayiti guna prakriti sambhava nibandhananti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Translation. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity becomes in contact with nature, O mighty Amlarjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Conditioned by this mode. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Material nature consists of three modes. We have already discussed the three modes. The material nature consists of these modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. That is sattva, rajo, tamo gunas. When the eternal living entity comes into the contact of nature, because all these living entities, all these souls are eternal, when it comes to the contact of the material nature, O mighty armed of Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by this material nature. That means when we get into this material body, we forget that we are eternal and we are the spirit soul. We think we are the body. And so when we think we are the body, we work for the body. That means we get conditioned for the body. We want to keep the body happy. That's where we get conditioned for the body. So, so the from this fourth to ninth sloka, Krishna explains how the living entity binds with the material nature. The three gunas are brought from the material nature. That means how we get attached with the body gives us the quality of the quality to us. That means it, and because of that quality, it gets bound with the living entity. The living entity is always constant, but it is bound with the material nature. Yeah. Harshit, read. Harshit.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tatra sattvam nirmalatva.
You forgot this sloka, Harshit. You learned this sloka, no?
No, Mataji.
Yes, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvam. It's part of SSP or out of the 100 slokas. Okay, anyway, read. Read.
Prakasham anamayam sukha sanghena bhadhanati jnana sanghena changraha. Translation. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by the sense of happiness and knowledge.
Hare Krishna. So here he is telling, he started describing about the various gunas. So first guna is sattva guna. So the sinless one, the mode of goodness being purer than the other. He is not telling, you have to be very clear here, he is not telling he is the best. He is telling, Krishna is telling, this is purer than the other. And that is illuminating. That means, see, when you are happy or when you are in a good mood, your face glows. So that is the illumination. And it frees from all the sinful reactions. So this quality, when we have this quality, what happens is we don't do any sinful activities. That is what gives the illumination. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. That means because of the knowledge, whatever they have, they are happy. They get conditioned. So we have been learning that based on our quality, we get conditioned with the we get conditioned with the quality. So when we get this knowledge, we get conditioned by the sense of happiness and knowledge. So the sattvagunam, one in the mode of goodness, is the purest, but just does not exist alone. So we have to be very clear that one cannot say I am sattvaguna, he is tamoguna, he is rajoguna. No person will have any exclusive quality. If any person, we have to be very clear, it's a mixture of all the gunas. At different times, we behave in a different guna. So it is never alone. With a person with more of sattva-guna qualities, he is said to be a sattva-guna person. He might have 70% of sattva-guna quality, and 20% of Rajoguna quality and 10% of Tamoguna quality, then he will be called as Sattva-guna. That it doesn't mean that he is 100% Sattva-guna. So always, and he is always happy and knowledgeable. Why is he happy? Because he is free from all the sinful reactions. What is that? Why do we do sinful reactions is something what we have to be very careful. Because a person in Sattva Guna will not have too much of ambitions, and because of ambitions, the anxiety will come. You know this, no? We discussed this many times. When we want something, we become more anxiety. We want something, we asked our parents to buy. They went to the shop. We are not sure whether they're going to buy, or we are sure that they're going to buy, but we are not sure whether the right one will come or not. So what happens? We become anxious. So the ambition of getting something will build anxiety in that. Because of that quality is nothing but a Rajoguna. That is ambitious. So when we are satisfied with whatever we have no ambition, so no anxiety. When we have no anxiety, we are very peaceful. When we are very peaceful, our face starts illuminating. So satisfied as he understands the temporary nature of the world. How can we be satisfied? See that the other person is having half a dozen buildings, whereas I live in a simple house. But still I'm happy. Why? Because I know whether I have half a dozen houses or a simple house, just a shelter, this is temporary. I am not going to stay here permanent. Very soon, all of us are going to leave the body. So when we know that we are not temporary here, why do we bother? If not about this one, anything, when we know that we have to stay, see, when we have our house, we want the house to be beautiful. But when we go and stay in a hotel, and we did not get a good hotel, but we know we are going to stay there only for one night, and tomorrow we are going to go back to our beautiful house. We won't bother, because it's only for one day. So we won't bother much. So when we know the temporary nature of this body, we won't bother about the ambitions. So the main importance to stay in Sattva Guna is we have to always remember that whatever we have, whatever we are doing is only temporary. When lost, happiness is lost. So whatever we own is lost, our happiness is lost. When we understand that everything is temporary, there is no question of, okay, anyway, if not today, tomorrow it will go. It has gone today. So nothing will bother us. So then we know what is good and what is bad. So that will not spoil our Sattva Guna quality. Otherwise, our Sattva Guna quality will get disturbed. Okay. 3. Can you read the next one?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Rajo Raga Amikam Vindi Trasta Sangha Samuda Bhavanam Tannidbhavanati Kautalya Karma Sangina Dehinam. Translation: the mode of passion is born of unlimited desire and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is born to material fruity actions. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti. And because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. This we know, just now we have discussed the same thing. So, the mode of passion, that means we want more. When we want more, the anxiety will increase. When the anxiety will increase, we start working more. We start working hard. So our life becomes total complicated. But why are we making the life complicated? Because of the temporary desires what we have developed, because we are longing for the fruitive actions, for the temporary material benefits. And we can sometimes become passionate to serve Krishna. Suppose we want to do puja, we have to go out, but the time is not there. That time we can become anxious and then somehow squeeze in some time and then do whatever we want to do. That kind of a passion is good. But the passion for the temporary benefits of this material world is not good. So we get, the moment we develop all these unlimited desires, that means the unlimited, we get attached with the family and hence we do more of karma. So, like many times I told you this story. I think I told you, no, many times I must have told you this story. One man, I think recently only I told you this story. One man, he gets attached with the body so much, somehow he gets in association with Narada, and Narada says, come, I'll take you to Goloka. So that fellow can happily go back. But he says, no, my children are still young. Let them grow big. Once they grow big, I'll give everything to them and then come. So once the children grow big, Narada comes. He says, no, let them get married. After marriage, again Narada comes. He says, no, these people are irresponsible. I want to make them very responsible and come. By the time this fellow dies, next time when Narada comes, he's not seen. So when he keeps around, looks around, he sees him as a dog around, running around the house. So he recognizes that it is the same man who is there as now a dog. Why did he become a dog and watching the house? Because throughout his life, he wanted to take care of his property and his children. So after death also, the same desire continues. So he became a dog and then he's running around the house watching the dog. Then Narada says, see what kind of life you got into. Why don't you come? I'll take you. He says, no, these people are very irresponsible. Let me take care. And so after time again Narada comes. Then he doesn't see the dog also. Then when he keeps around, then he sees a snake. And then when he sees a snake, and then he realizes that this life he has become a snake watching the house. And so finally, Narada gets so irritated. What he does is, I don't know whether Narada does it or something happens, and then somebody comes and tries to spoil something in the field around there. So the snake, because it's a snake, it wants to safeguard its children. It tries to kill the person, whoever is doing. Then his sons itself, they come, and then what they do is, "Arey, this fellow is coming and biting," and then he immediately. All of them, his sons itself comes and they hit the snake and kill. Only then that fellow gets the realization that this children itself doesn't remember me. What is that I am doing here? So that way, so we have to understand that the moment we get bonded with this life, the life continues and then we get stuck there only. From the human body, that fellow went down to a dog body. From there, he went down to a snake body. So that way, we keep deteriorating. See, how did we get human body? By spending 8,40,000 lives, species of lives by spending, finally we got this human body. But after getting this human body, we don't use it properly and again go back to the animal body, from which it is very difficult to come back to the human body. Okay. 8. Who is this? Rohan, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam. Tamastvamastvaya jnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhi stanibandhanati bharata. Translation: O son of Bharata, know the modes of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which blind and conditioned soul.
Hare Krishna. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which binds conditioned soul. Now he is describing the tamo guna. So he has no knowledge. So he cannot discriminate between what is good and what is bad. So, so that is ignorance. So he is ignorance. Ignorant means what is light? Light means it is not the 100-watt bulb or the sunrise. The light is the knowledge. So he is always in the wrong thoughts. That is darkness. So, so here the sattva guna and tamo guna are totally opposite. So when you are in sattva guna, you are illuminating. And when you are in tamo guna, you are always in wrong thing. And all your thoughts are wrong. That means your thoughts are all madness, idleness, and sleep. You always like to lazy. Always sit lazy, eat all wrong food, eat all excess food, wrong food, and then always sleep. And that will bind to the conditioned soul. Yeah. Dikshit, read. Dikshit.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sloka 14.9. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati raja karmani bharata jnanam avritya tu tamaha pramede sajayantya uta. Translation. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness, passion conditions one of the fruitive action, and ignorance, covering one's knowledge, brings one to badness. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. That means when we are in goodness, that means when we are a satisfied person, we are happy. It's very natural. We are happy with whatever we are happy. The moment we are not happy, we want more, we are not happy. So a conditioned soul in goodness is always happy. Passion condition wants to fruitive action. Passion means there what happens is I want more, I want more, I want more, I want to do this to get, I have to do that to do that. That means you are always in tension. And ignorance covering all the knowledge binds one to madness. So no knowledge at all. And we do think everything wrong and do everything wrong. So here what is explained is how the three modes are entangling us with the material body is given. All the three modes fight with each other. As I told you, no person is of one mode completely. At different times, different situations, different conditions, he gets into different mode. But what is that condition that is getting him into that mode is what is important. For example, there are many times when Prabhupada also got angry, and that means he got into Rajoguna. Why? It is not that he got angry because he wants something, because somebody is doing something wrong or talking something wrong against Krishna, or doing wrong or causing difficulties to a devotee, he might have become angry. That way becoming Rajoguna is good. But for the material benefit, one should never get into these things. That means, and also time also has a guna. That means the Brahma Muhurta is of Sattva guna. That is why we say in the Brahma Muhurta, whatever knowledge we get it very fast. So, and the mind, the Sattva guna is very active then. But a person in Tamo guna, that means if we are dominated by the Tamo guna, we tend to sleep in the Sattva guna time. So we have to, there itself we will know what kind of guna we are. Normally when somebody asks what guna is yours, we very comfortably say we are Sattva guna. I am very good, I am Sattva guna. The next question is, what time do you get up in the morning? 8 o'clock, finish, you are Tamo guna. If you are Sattva guna, you get up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. If you are Rajo guna, at least you get up by 6 o'clock. Only if you are Sattva Tamoguna, you get up at 8 o'clock. And if it is a holiday, you sleep the whole day. That's where it is. And the places also have gunas. That means a Sattva Guna place is always neat. A Rajoguna place is always shabby. That means things are not in the proper place. So anything you want from there, you just cannot pick up. If the place is neat, you want something, your mother says, your father says, I want to write something, get a pen. You should be able to go, just pick up the pen and come. You should not start running around for the pen. Where is my pen? Where is my pen? Where is my pencil? That means that is all Rajo. It's all shabby. It's not kept in the proper place. So it should be. If you look at your school bag, the books should be kept in the school bag based on your timetable. Just the period comes, just pull out your bag. Book. That is what Sattva Guna. Rajoguna, we keep everything shabby. And Tamoguna, dirty. That means the books are torn, soiled, covers, no covers, dirty they become. And your school uniform is dirty, your bag is dirty, your shoes are not polished. That is it. If you are every day like that, not your mother making you look neat. You should make yourself look neat. Your mother will wash your clothes, give you bath, comb your hair, and do everything and then send you. You can't say, I am Sattva Guna, I am dressed. But it is you who have to maintain the Sattva Guna. See, people, the honey bee always goes to the flower, whereas a housefly goes to the dirt. That means the honeybee is of Sattva Guna and the housefly is of Tamoguna. That way we also, whatever attracts us is our guna. And in the next 4 slokas, we shall see if one mode dominates the other mode. Like we are of this guna, no. Will one mode dominate the other mode? Yeah, Dikshit, sloka 10.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sloka 14.10 Rajastamascha Chabibhutya Sattvam Bhavati Bharata Raja Sattvam Tamaschaiva Tama Sattvam Rajastata. Translation. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the modes of passion defeats goodness and ignorance. And at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the mode of passion and ignorance. That means you want to play or you want to do a bad thing. But the mode of goodness, that means your consciousness will tell, no, that's not what we should do. There's something wrong. We should not. This is the time for study, or this is the time for prayer. Let us do it. If it dominates, the sattva passion and ignorance will go and the goodness will prevail. But if it happens, the morning hours, sattva guna will tell, get up and study. But the tamoguna dominates, and then we have comfortably cover ourselves with the blanket and sleep. Sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance. That means you want it. You know your father cannot afford to buy that for you, but still you want it. So what happens? You make so much of fuss in the house. That means your consciousness knows, the sattva guna in you knows that it is wrong. But the passion has dominated so much that you will still urge for it. And at other times, ignorance defeats goodness and passion. That is in the sleep, morning hours. You know you have to get up, but you won't get up. You know 5 o'clock you have to come and attend the class. But until I call you, you don't come. That is what it is called, a passion which is dominating you. In this way, there is always a competition for the supremacy. 11. Harshit? Hare Krishna, Harshit.
Hare Krishna Mataji. सर्वधरेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्याद् विवृद्धं sattvamiti uta. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Hare Krishna Mataji.
The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So we all know that our body has how many gates? Can somebody tell me? How many gates? Does it have any gate?
Mataji, 9 gates.
Excellent. Very good. So our body has got 9 gates. So what are the 9 gates? The 9 gates are what is a gate? Through which something goes out or something comes in. So in our body, so a lot of things are going out and a lot of things are coming in. So a gate can be just for going out or a gate can be just for coming in also. So the gates what we have are 2 eyes through which we see everything. So we should know what to see, what not to see. Something very attractive but which is bad, we should know. I should not see this. This is bad. We should not see. That's how we should use the eyes. Ears also. Hear something good, not bad. Ears and nostrils. See, there can be a smell which is bad, which will make us tempt to eat something wrong. But we should know how to control. Mouth, for eating, for talking, for all the gates, whatever eyes have seen, ears have heard, and the nose has smelled, the mouth is the source into it. So how are we using the mouth? And the excretion organs through which it goes out. All these things goes out. So all these gates will get illuminated. Illumination means it's not that some light is going to come out of the eyes and the mouth and all that. What is that? Something good is coming out of it. That is what is illumination. Illuminated by knowledge. It has got so much of knowledge. See, if you just see an intelligent boy, eyes sparks. You can see the sparking eyes in them, because that comes when you are peaceful or when you achieve something, your eyes sparkle. That way, that is mode of goodness. It sparks. So all this, how we use these 9 gates is decides our guna. So if you use it in a wrong way, ambitious way, it becomes a rajoguna. If you use it in a sluggish way, it becomes a tamoguna. So our knowledge should be for discriminating what should be taken in and what should be given out. See how the environment around us also influences us. So there also, so the environment we should always keep our environment. We should always, in English, there is a saying, tell me who your friend is, I'll tell you who you are. That means we try to mingle with people who are, with whose ideas our ideas match. See, suppose there is a beautiful chick, a small chick, it looks so cute. So a person with a sattva guna, he thinks, oh, it's so nice, so cute. Krishna's creation is so beautiful. Let me go and play with it. Or let me not harm with it. Or let me allow it to play on its own. Let me just watch it. This is how his guna will have. But if a person living in a bad environment, what will, suppose he starts eating non-veg every day, what will his idea go? This chicken is so beautiful. How will it be if I kill it and eat it? That just the thought. How did he get that thought? Because of the environment he is put into it. So the environment, what we live, is something very important. So the friends, if they are teaching you something, something happens, we'll take revenge on them. That kind of friends we have, we'll develop that revengeful attitude. If the friend says, okay, that is his karma, he's doing it a wrong way, at least after getting this knowledge, we should know it is not that we have to tolerate everything. We should know how to oppose, but not develop revengeful attitude or a negative attitude. That way we should, based on our thinking process or how we use our sense organs, our knowledge gets illuminated. Yeah. Who is next? Trayi? 12.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Lumbaha Pranavitra Harambaha Karaman Asmaha Spashaha Rajasya Itnahi Jayante Viva Virte Bharata Sabha. Translation: O chief of Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great achievement, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering development. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. O chief of Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great achievement, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. See, increase in the mode of passion. That means we wanted something. We got it. Very good. I wanted a good dress today. Very good. I should be happy there. So getting to that, up to that passion is okay. Tomorrow, one more dress I want. Day after tomorrow, one more I want. Today, my father bought me a cycle. Tomorrow, I want a car. Day after tomorrow, I want an aeroplane. This kind of a passion, if you develop, which is endless and which causes, and once we get something, what happens? Father has given you something, your great attachment increases on it. That means all these fruitive activities will increase. Intense endeavor, that means a strong desire will develop in you. An uncontrollable desire, that means anything you have, you keep asking, I want more, I want more. You have two children in the house. Your father brings a biscuit packet and or two biscuit packets. He'll say, both of you take one. He says, no, I want both the biscuits packet for me. That is uncontrollable desire and the hankering develop. Why? When I wanted both the biscuit packets, why mother should give one to him? And so that kind of a revengeful attitude and everything starts. So the passion increases, the more increases, and we start working more for it. And then what happens? We know we have to do chanting in the morning or any time in the day, we should want to do the chanting. But what is happening? Our desire towards the material is so much, we have no time to do all this. So we will not do. So we'll even ignore our health, we will ignore our spiritual activities, and we will run behind our desires. So our desire should be only to serve more and more to Krishna. Our knowledge, what we increase, should be in the right direction. There you can have a Rajoguna to increase our knowledge in the rightful knowledge, but not on the material desires. Yeah. Next, Rohan. Rohan.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Aparakaso pravartati Chapramalo mohevacha tamasi etani jayanti vivrade kurunandana. When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. Hare Krishna Mataji Radhavattanam.
Hare Krishna. When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness, and illusion are manifested. So here he is giving the qualities of a tamoguna. So what happens when there is ignorance? We don't know what is good, what is bad. So everything is dark. That means darkness means lack of knowledge. Inertia, lazy, don't want to do, sit idle like that. Madness, that means wrong thinking. And illusions are manufactured. Illusions means we just think and keep dreaming. I'll get that, I'll get this, I'll become the king of the country. How will you become the king of the country? Only when you work hard. I'll come first in the class. How will you come? You have to study hard. That is, you live in illusions. Dikshit? Hare Krishna Dikshit.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sloka 14.14. Yeda satve pravridhe su pralayam yati deha brihat tadotam sama vidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure planets of the great sages. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. So in this sloka 14 and 15, Krishna described what will be the destination after death for a particular mode. Where will we go when we are in a particular mode? That's what he is said. So when one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to be pure higher planets of the great sages. That means if you are in Sattva Guna, again, be careful. When you are in Sattva Guna, Krishna is not telling that we are going to reach him. He is telling that you will get a better planet. That means you might go to Swargaloka. Swargaloka is a better planet where everything is happy. But that is a temporary planet. So when we go to goodness, we will attain the higher planet the way sages are getting it. 15. Harshit.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Rajasi pralayam yatva karma sangeshu jayate tata pralanis ninastamasi mudhai yonishu jayate. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes a birth among those of the fruitive activities, and when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes the birth of in the animal kingdom. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. When dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth amongst those engaged in fruitive activities. That means, as I told you in the story, that man died in desire, thinking that I want to take care of my children. So he became a dog of that. And normally they say that wife and husband are so much attached to each other. A wife becomes husband and husband becomes wife in the next life. So they like them so much. So it depends on what. So we desire something very much in this life. So the next life, that is what we get. So that's all we get. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. That means he was very lazy, always sleeping. He will be a bear in the Poland, North Pole or South Pole, where it is total ice and where they sleep for 6 months. And you want to always fly. And you will become a bird. You always want to swim, you might become a fish. So that way, our desires will give us the next life. See, after undergoing these 54 lakh species and then coming to human life, if we will again go back to the animal life because of the tamoguna. So never have tamoguna, never have a lazy life, never live a ignorance life, like eating too much, sleeping too much, not doing the right things. Never do that. You will go back to the animal life. At least in Rajaguna, you might get a human life where you can rebuild everything. But here, there's no chance. 16. Who is that? Try.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Karmaha Shukra Yama Sattva Vikram Nirmalam Pahalam Rajasthatu Pahalam Dukam Ajanam Tasma Palam. Translation. The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness, but action done in the mode of passion results in mystery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance result in foolishness. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The result of pious action is pure Poise means pavitra. That means doing something good. Poise, devotional kind of thing. Is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery, because it is, desires are endless. Always want more, want more, want more. So it's all misery. The misery, that is the cause of all the miseries in our life. So as we go further in this, we'll understand how desires cause misery. See, we all know, no? Till now also we have been discussing. We want something, we doesn't get it for whatever reason. So we feel so bad, we feel upset. And then that is misery. We start crying because why? Is that really required? You have half a dozen items to play. You want something else. You can as well play the same thing with this. But still, because your friend had that, you want this. So what is happening? Whatever you have also, you're not able to enjoy. And you are suffering because you don't have that. So that way, passion will give us misery. And action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. You don't know what you're doing. All foolish things you do. And always keep sleeping. And the result of all these modes is explained in the next three slokas, that is 16, 17, and 18. So we have to always do something good. Whatever is good, we should think and then keep doing. In this context, I just remembered one thing. So doing good means, like, you know, that tamoguna eats a lot of rubbish which we should not eat. And then this rubbish what we are eating is causing us lot of masalas, lot of bad food what we take will increase the tamoguna in us, because the digestion is slow and the tamoguna increases. See, there are many people, they only like to eat a cow meat. Why? Because we worship cow and we all know the advantage of cow. But still, these people eat cow because they look at it as one more animal. But the good thing is, this February 14th, all of you know what it is. Can somebody tell me what is February 14th? Hare Krishna. February 14th? That is Valentine's Day. That means where the lovers come and meet each other, keep giving gifts, but which is not our custom. This Mother's Day, Father's Day, all these are not our customs, because in foreign countries, they don't take care of their parents. So at least once in a year, they want the children to visit the parents. So they developed this word like Mother's Day, Father's Day. But in our custom, in our culture, we have to take care of parents all 365 days. So we don't have anything like Mother's Day, Father's Day, but we are following them. Similarly, this Valentine's Day also, we have to do something nice to our loved ones. Why only that day we should do? Every day we should do. But so our Indians have changed this Valentine's Day to Hug a Cow Day. So that day, what they have said is, stop giving gifts to your boyfriend, girlfriend, friends and all that. Go and hug a cow. By hugging a cow, you don't know how much benefit you have. The air that comes out of the cow itself is a pure medicine. If you just go to Gosala, that itself is a great thing. So if you have any Gosalas around your house, please on Valentine's Day, that is on February 14th, you remember that it's a Hug a Cow Day. And go to a Gosala and give some very pleasing food to the cow. That means you should give bananas, you can give green leaf, something like that, not cooked food. Give it and then hug it and pray to that and then come. That is what we should do. That is how we should develop the Sattva Guna in us. 17. Who has to read? Rohan, no? Hare Krishna. Rohan.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. Sloka 14.17. Satvat sanjayate jananam रजसो लोभ एव च प्रमादः मोहौ तमसो भवतो jananam eva cha. Translation: from the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the modes of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, and illusion. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Mataji.
From the mode of goodness, real knowledge developed. So when our mind is calm, peaceful, then only our mind will be open, and then we will get the real knowledge. From the mode of passion, greed develops. We want more, we want more. From where will we get more? Whatever is available is available. So greed, whatever others are having, we want. And from the mode of ignorance develops foolishness. We don't know what we want. We don't know what we should not have. We don't know what we should have. That is foolishness, madness, and illusion. This is what it develops. Yeah, Dikshit.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वशः मध्याते तिष्ठन्ति रजा जघन्या गुणवृत्ति स्थायो गच्छन्ति तमसः. Translation: those who studied in the mode of goodness, those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward into higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in abominable mode of ignorance go down to hellish worlds. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upwards to the higher planets. That means suddenly we don't jump one by one, one by one. How do you, from first class, you, however intelligent you are, you won't go to 10th class. You have to go step by step. That way here also we go passion one by one. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planet because we want to enjoy these material benefits. We are always on these material planets only. Depend on what our desires are, we either take animal life or a human life. And those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds, because when we are in the ignorance, what all we do is wrong. So when we do wrong things, we go back, reverse. So then we are always, that means we are then also in the material world, or we go to the still worst, this material nature is at least something is there. We go to the lower planets like Narakam, like Patalam, like the Nagalokam behind. That way we just go down. So that is what decides our life. To overcome all these modes, how to overcome all these modes? From now Krishna described how to become a gunatita. That means a person who does not have any of these three modes. That is three. What are these modes? Is gunas. Our quality, character is our guna. So gunatita. How we get this? When we have the right knowledge, we should know what is good and what is bad. I am the soul unto and I have to take the shelter of Krishna is what is required, is something, the knowledge what we should develop. We should develop attachment to the spirit. That means we should develop attachment to the soul and not to the material body. Detachment to the matter, that is the material body, and then attachment to the soul, that means attachment to the spirit soul or to the Krishna through bhakti is what is important. Okay, that is so that is how we should get. So now we have completed 1 to 18. There are 10 more slokas or 9 more slokas. To complete this chapter will get completed. So it will take another 15-20 minutes. Do you want me to complete or you want me to do it next week? Whatever you say. Harshit?
Mataji, anything is fine.
Anything is fine? Try?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Try?
Yeah, Mataji, you can complete today.
Yeah. Rohan, I'm completing. Okay, Gata, for you? Yeah. Harshit, read the 19th one. We'll finish off this chapter. So we'll finish off Bhagavad Gita soon.
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्तथा मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसः जघन्या गुणवृत्तिस्तथा स्तः अधो गच्छन्ति तमसः. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the.
Right? Where are you? We completed this. I didn't done the page. I am seeing what is he reading. Where am I? Okay, read the 19th one. 18 we completed, no? Read.
Dhanyam कर्तरं यद ध्रस्तनुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वित्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than this mode of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work, then these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord. What is this? When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work, then these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord. So we should know that who is doing all this, who is the reason behind this sattva guna, what is the reason behind all our deeds, whatever we are doing, what is that reason is, we should know that it is the mode which is making us do all this. The performer here is the three modes of material nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, and so Krishna knows that. So Krishna is the controller of the modes also. Krishna, who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Krishna, who is transcendental, he says, so Krishna says, whoever overcomes all this material nature, he will attain my spiritual nature. That means Krishna's spiritual nature is, Krishna's nature is, he is the one who created these modes, and he is the controller of the modes, but he is not affected by the modes. So once we develop this transcendental nature, we will also not get affected by these modes. Like this in our childhood we had this tolbommalu. That means they put small toys below and they tie threads to those toys, and those threads are attached to the fingers, and the hands are somewhere up, and the way they keep moving the hands, fingers, the toys keep moving. That means one finger is connected to the hand of the toy, the other finger to the leg, the other finger to another hand, the other finger to head, like that they are fixed. So based on how they are moving the finger, the toy moves. So that way, if you just see in the Google Tolubommalu, you'll see how the game is played. We when we look at it, we think that it is the dolls which are dancing, but the thread behind it is what is controlling the toy. So that way our gunas are controlling us. So we should know how to come out of it. So this jiva comes under the influence of the material mode. One should come out of these modes as we should know that we are the soul, and the soul is spiritual. Krishna is beyond the three modes of material nature. Yeah, Sri, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Gunaha ityan aditya trinam dehi deha samudda bhavanam janma mrityu jara dukar vimukto mirtam as anutte. Translation. When the embodied began is able to transaid these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distress, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. When the embodied being when the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes of association with the material body, that means when we come out of this material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distress. Normally we say birth, death, old age, and disease. But here he is using the word distress. That means diseases are also part of the distress, and many more are there. Distress means our mental problems. Mental problems means not madness. It is all the tensions we are undergoing, all those things. All those things. The moment we understand that we are beyond and we practice and go beyond this material nature, then we are relieved from Janma, Mrityu, Jara, and distress. Until the human body. So this can happen only when we take the shelter of a spiritual guru. Like then we will be relieved of all this. Like so we have discussed that we are all in the jail in the first few slokas. So how will a person in the jail come out? If he is sitting there and doing still criminal activities in the jail also, he will never come out of the jail. But suppose he has a very good behavior, he will automatically come out of the, that means before his punishment is completed, he will be discharged, released. He'll say, no, this man has become very good, so let us not put him any more jail. That way, Krishna will relieve us from this Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. After attaining knowledge, not to keep, and very important is you got a knowledge. What is the use of having knowledge? You learn Bhagavad Gita, everything, but you don't practice it. What is the use? Waste. Similarly, you know a lot of good things. You don't try to tell it to others. What is the use? Waste. So that way, we should, whatever knowledge we have, we should put it into practice, and we should also share it with the others. Whether the others take it or not is their karma. But as a committed soldier of Krishna, we should tell them that this is good and this is bad. Yeah, 21. Rohan. Hannah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sloka 14.21. Arjuna Vacha Kailinga Gunan Etan Atito Bhavati Prabho Kim Acharaha Gatam Chaitam Stringuna Ativarteti. Translation. Arjuna inquired, "O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is his behavior? And how does he transcend the modes of nature?" Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna. Till now, Krishna has been explained. So now Arjuna has put questions. He has put three questions. Oh, my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? I mean, who is beyond these three modes? How will I know? What is his behavior? What is the behavior of a person who is beyond the three modes? And how does he transcend? I mean, how did he come out of these three modes? See, all of us are saying we have to come out, we have to come out. Is it that simple? Not at all simple. So how to come out of it are the three questions put by Arjuna. That means if somebody comes out of it, he is known as a gunatita. That means a person who is beyond the gunas, guna atita. So what is his behavior? This is the question of Arjuna. Three questions of Arjuna. Dikshit. Now 22 to 25. So we'll directly go to the meaning. That's better. Okay. So read the meaning 22 to 25.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion, when they are present or long for them, when they disappear, who is unvarying and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that modes alone are active, who is situated in the self-regards, alike like happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats her like boyfriend and both."
He's still there. Valentine's Day. Yeah. Okay.
Both friend and enemy, and who is renowned at material activities such as person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. Mataji, shlokas, Mataji.
You want to read the slokas? 4 slokas? Okay. Huh? Right, let us finish. We're getting late. Huh? We don't want you to get bored. Next you can read. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination," he said, that means illumination is a quality of Sattva Guna. He should not hate illumination. That means you should look for the we studied that how will the illumination come? Because of the knowledge. So he should not hate the knowledge. Attachment and delusion mean when they are present or long for them, when they disappear. So he should not have attachment or delusion. That means when something comes to him or when he loses something, when they are present or when they loses them, when they disappear also, he should be with the same mindset. That is the main quality. Who is unwavering and disturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities. Remain neutral and transcendental. That means all these material qualities are there. He has to be neutral. Whatever may happen, he should not react. He should not get upset. He should not get... That means he should do the right things. Something which is tempting is there. He should not get something. Something which is right, what is to be done, he should do it. And what we are not supposed to do, we should not do. Something he wanted out of ignorance, when he does not get, he should not get upset. He knowing. So remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the 3 modes alone are active, he should always think these modes are acting on me. Let me control myself. Who is situated in a self and regards alike happiness and distress. That means when there is something very happy or when he has to undergo something distress also, his mood is the same. Who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone and a piece of gold with the equal eye. That means you give him a lump of mud or a big stone or a big stone like gold also, he should think, okay, same thing. So what? Even this gold also I am going to leave here and go. Mud also I am going to leave here and go. So what? How does it help me? How does this help me to go to Krishna? That kind of a thing he should have. Who is equal towards the desirable and undesirable. So sometimes we want something, we don't want something. When he does not get what he wants, or when he gets something what he does not want, he should be steady. Situated equally when in praise or blame, honor or dishonor. That means when you do something, people praise, we are very happy. When we do something wrong or when we don't do also, for whatever reason, somebody blames us, we are so upset. When we do a mistake also, when people blame us, we are so upset. Why he should say that? Okay, I have done a small mistake. So why he should not say? That should not be said. Honor or dishonor. Somebody praises or insults us for whatever reason, we should know that is his ignorance. He is in Tamoguna. So let me ignore, let me not feel bad for it. That kind of a balanced mindset we should have. who treats alike both friends and enemies. Whether a friend, suppose there is a real need is there. He wanted some blood. If he's a friend, we rush and somehow manage blood somewhere. And if he's an enemy, let that fellow die. How do we bother? No, that is wrong. He's in real need. So we should go and help him out for a genuine need. Whether he's a friend or enemy, we should look at him as our siblings, as our brother, sister, because we are all children of Krishna. So all the children of your father, you think you are brothers and sisters. Similarly, there also we should think like that only. And who has renounced all the material activities. That means who has left all the material activities. That means it is not that he is sitting idling and doing japa. He does things only up to the nature, what is required as his duty. Such a person is said to have transcendented the modes of nature. So when Arjuna has asked the 3 questions, the 3 question answers are here. So such a person is a person who has transcendented this. So that is the answer here. So Harshit, 26. Hare Krishna, Harshit. Last one.
Mamchayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunam samatitaitam brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes in to the level of Brahman. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In the previous 4 slokas, Krishna explained the first 2 questions. So now Krishna is explaining the 3rd question. That is how to get these qualities, how to go beyond the 3 modes. Is the answer Krishna is giving here. One who engages in full devotional service. So unfailing in all circumstances. That means today we have guests in the house, so don't do devotional service. Today there is a very good game going outside, no devotional service. Somehow he manages, gets up half an hour early and finishes or something. At once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes out to the level of Brahman. Brahman means effulgence of Krishna. And here we have to understand that the effulgence of Krishna is not different from Krishna. It is a part of Krishna. So he goes to the effulgence of Krishna. But here we have to be very careful that what we have to reach is not the effulgence of Krishna. We should go to Krishna. That means this is only stage 1. If you go to the effulgence of Krishna, we just stay in the light there. But what we require is we have to go to the Krishna and serve him. So here when you have the spiritual realizations and performing bhakti, there is we will go beyond all these qualities. Next, last one, Trai.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Brahmano hi paristaham amrita ya vaishavaka sastyasya ka dharmasya shukasya vahakantisya ka. Translation. And I am the basis of the important Brahman, which is impersonal, and internal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. And I am the basis of impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. Here, in the previous sloka, he said Brahman. Now he is giving the meaning of Brahman. The qualities of Brahman, which is nothing but Krishna. Brahman is nothing but Krishna. Brahman cannot exist without Krishna. See, if the bulb is not there, the light from the bulb does not come. That means the light is no different from the bulb. That way, the effulgence of Krishna is also a part of Krishna. One should not aspire from the Brahman. Aspire for Krishna only. By doing unalloyed bhakti. Unalloyed means nothing else but bhakti. That means if not this bhakti, yeah, I'll do that. If not this, I'll do that. No, it is only this I have to do. That is called unalloyed bhakti. One will attain Krishna, and Brahman is a part of Krishna. And worship any form of Krishna, but bhakti yoga. So the here perishable constitutional position of the also to get the ultimate happiness, what we have to do, many times I have told you, how wherever we go, by evening we want to be back home. Only when you are back home, you are happy. Otherwise, wherever we stay, we think I have to go home. Still that mind will be taking us back home. So that way, only when we reach home, we are happy, satisfied. Mama came back. So that way, to have the ultimate happiness, we have to go back to Krishna, because that is from where we have started this journey and we should go back. So here, now this is the end of this chapter. So we have to understand now that we have to go beyond these 3 stages of modes. So we will discuss about this more, whether these 3 qualities are just important or we have to get something more. Hare Krishna. Thank you. I've taken a lot of time, but you had a lot of patience and listen.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So these 3 modes of material nature, are you able to, did you
Hare
understand?
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Because all of you